If you want to start a dumpster rental business in your local area, these are the 3 things you need to consider before starting it. The number 1 thing you need to do first is check to see if there's a local ordinance. This means that if you're even allowed to do dumpster rentals in specific parts of the city or at all. In some cases, you're not allowed to leave dumpsters in certain cities because there's like a monopoly in place to where there's only one company that can actually service that city. So for example, like Dallas, you're not allowed to leave dumpsters in Dallas unless you're a specific company. I think it's Waste Management, or maybe it's one of the other ones. You need to figure out if your local city lets you do dumpsters and what those rules are, because just because they're not allowed in Dallas doesn't mean that you can't service the surrounding cities. I want to save you time and money by you figuring this out to see if it's even something that you can pursue. If it's not, then at least you know, and you didn't waste money on equipment and time on marketing and stuff like that. So after you figured out what the rules are in your local area, if you can even do dumpsters, the next thing you want to do is actually start your marketing before you buy equipment. And a lot of people have been doing this backwards. I've gotten some really strange phone calls where I get people that will call me and say, hey, I've invested $100,000 in equipment and I quit my job and now I need work tomorrow. Unfortunately, that's not where we're at anymore. Like, we can't do that. You can't expect somebody to ramp up your marketing overnight. Marketing takes time. So don't do that. You really need to consider starting a website or building the online presence before you start the business. What I mean by that is maybe you don't need to build a website, but maybe you should go and get a Google My Business listing first, right? And maybe get that Google My Business listing generating some phone calls so you can kind of gauge to see if this is even a business that is getting calls in your local area and how many calls you're getting and what the potential is. I think marketing is super important. You wouldn't have a business unless you're getting calls or unless you have marketing in place. So in my opinion, marketing comes first, then the equipment comes second. Speaking of equipment, that would be the 3rd thing you need to consider is where you're gonna get your equipment from, how easy is it to get, what the prices are, and if your equipment will allow you to scale, right? So I'll give you an example. There are companies that provide like roll-off dumpster trailers, like Bumper Pull or Gooseneck, and some of them only go up to a certain size. So you need to consider, are you ever gonna go up to bigger sizes like 30 and 40 yards? Are those bins gonna be compatible with a hook lift truck if you switch to hook lift? And these are all things you need to consider. So like, I'll give you an example, like Bison, they make standard rail bins that can go up to 30 yards on a roll-off trailer. And if you decide to get into a hook lift truck, then you can use those same bins on a hook lift truck. So those are just some things to consider. And then the other ones would be, how easy is it to get dumpsters? Like, if you really start to scale, are you gonna have to travel within 5 states to go get your new dumpsters? Or can you get them like, within a couple weeks? Maybe you don't have to drive so far. Those are all really important things. And I'm just trying to save you guys time, money, and effort by getting you guys to think about these things first. It's super important. So if you need any more help or further assistance with either your marketing, how to price your bins, things about the industry that you might need help with, you can contact me at 503-914-7250 or visit junkamovemoney.com. I'm always here to help, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.